Hi, welcome. Thank you for joining me here today as I talk about how to stay true to you in a pressured society. And this one actually truly came about because of Easter. Because people were saying, Easter, I've got to do this, and I've got to travel this, and I've got to buy this, and I've got to. And I was like, no, 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 no. Calm your farm, pull yourself back. So let me grab your note taking device. I'm just going to get this other uh, computer set up so I can actually see if any comments come in. And let's crack on with my tips today. So let me know if you're a hashtag replay or if you're actually here live would be awesome. Okay, I've got this going now. Here we go, here we go. So how to stay true to you in a pressured society is important to function in this everyday life. Like, you already know that. Clearly, you already know that. But when I started putting these tips together a couple of days ago, they weren't as daunting as I thought, because I was like, what's the real crunch of this? And it's actually all about you. It's what do you desire? So tip number one is find out, what do you actually desire in life? Morning, Shari. Morning, Kimberly. Thanks for joining. What do you actually desire in life? If you don't know what you want, how are other people going to help you get to where you're going to go, or even yourself? So when we're looking at this precious society, I want you to write down those things that actually you would like to achieve, whether that is money, whether that is business, whether that is relationships, whether that is letting go of stuff, letting go of your opinions, realizing what you can control, what you can't control. Just let it all out, because when you become clear and specific about what you desire, that's when the universe, or whatever you want to call it, actually provides for you. So let me crack on with some, crack on, I don't know if that's actually a wording that people still use right now, but I am. Let me give you some simple mindset shifts that's going to stop comparison, because I'm just trying to get my Bluetooth. We love technology. Just see if that works. We love that comparison can come into us and can take us off course. It can do just absolutely diabolical, crazy as stuff that throw us out of our tracks. So comparison can sneak in, and it's usually when we're disconnected. It's usually when we're disconnected from what matters most to us, when that comparison comes in. So a quick result for this is to replace, when that shift is to replace, why don't I have what they have? When that comes in, because I'm sure we've got people who have said that. Why don't they have what I have? I know I've said it. Why do they get that and I don't get it? I've still said those things. So don't worry, you're human. It's just practice, practice, practice. But to replace that, why don't I have what they have? What's truly important to me right now? What's truly important to me right now? And when we start focusing on what's important to me right now, we're already disconnecting ourselves from that comparison. So it allows us to actually hold ourselves into what's true with our own values and at our own measuring success or failure, whatever you want, but it's actually by your own standards, not by somebody else's social media highlight reel. Let's put it that way. The next one is people pleasing. And I know some of the people who are watching this are just going to go, no way, people pleasing again, here we go. But you want to identify that people pleasing before it gets in, before you actually realize and it takes you off track. Because it isn't always obvious. And you can look at being the nice one or overcommitting or anything like that. But until you can actually pause and reflect on that people pleasing is going to keep going for you. So here's some little tips that you can actually see yourself as people pleasing. And it's when you say yes, when you mean to say no. Oh, yes. And then you're like, why did I do that? Why? That's that whole second guessing. The other one is you feel responsible for other people's emotions. Just take that in. You feel responsible for other people's emotions. Like it's your job to keep everyone happy. You apologize a lot. Now, this may not be you. But it may be somebody else. So when you're coming into this stuff, you're apologizing a lot. Even when you haven't done anything wrong, you're just still taking liability because it seems to be easier. The old people pleasing. You avoid conflict like the plague. So you'd rather keep the peace. Totally, I get that. You also suppress your needs. So when you're going into these things with people pleasing, you actually take yourself down on a whole journey of, I'm going to say trauma, because it's all sitting there. There's that fear of, when you're people pleasing, there is a fear of rejection, there's a fear of abandonment or not being enough, or they're not going to like me, what are they going to say behind my back? And if we can just stop that people pleasing to actually just please ourselves, that's where you're going to get the greatest amount of result. So to stop the people pleasing, it's pretty simple. No, doesn't work for me right now. So you can say, no, it doesn't work for me right now. And that's the start of saying no, never. Just to start yourself. No, that time doesn't work for me right now. Or no, that doesn't work for me. No, I can't do that. No, I can't do that this week. Doesn't mean no forever. It just means no right now. That's all it is. You're just saying no right now. And when you start practicing no, this is when it actually flows in for you. So when you just say no, it's not going to work for me this week or next week. You don't have to give an excuse or a reason or anything. It just allows you to say no. So start practicing saying no. If you're going to start practicing with your intimate partner, just give them a heads up. I'm going to start practicing saying no. Don't be offended. Most will be no, but I'm also some I can probably be edged on. But actually give them a heads up that you're going to start practicing this. Because when you can master it, then you can go out there and you can hit the big kahunas. So just start practicing saying no. I would just say, for a safer bet for your relationship, I'm just going to start practicing saying no, just so they know, like, what the heck is going on, what's happened around here. So the other thing is your inner voice, and your inner voice is so important. So I'm going to give you how to strengthen your inner voice, because that is really, it's your guide, it's your test of who you are, where you are in this environment, but it can get drowned out when you're overwhelmed. And I'm going to talk about other people's expectations, because they have expectations on you. You may not have them. So it's going to get you to get drowned out by other people's expectations. So it's wiser to obviously create quiet moments, and that allows you to hear yourself clearly. So let me do some comparisons here from your inner voice and your fear. So, okay, and we're now going to have fireworks. That's all I can say. Okay, so let's talk about your inner voice. So there's an inner truth, and with that inner truth, you feel peaceful inside, even if it's uncomfortable. But there's a fear for the outside, means you feel anxious, you feel urgent, you feel panicky, you feel on edge. So we're going for the inner truth part. When you're speaking your inner truth, you are rooted in your values and your self-respect. You're rooted in your values and your self-respect. And can you hear the difference? And actually, when you say that to yourself, I'm rooted in my values and my self-respect, compared to rooted in your shoulds and your coulds and your ought to and your guilt and your avoiding rejection or any of those things. Because that's a nasty place to go. That's in that fear that clearly someone's going to help you with. We know who that is, don't we? That stuff there, we just want to put that in that category. When you're rooted in your values and your self-respect, you start feeling wholesome. Can you feel this a little bit within yourself right now? You can grow with your stillness. And when I say grow with your stillness, you can actually grow stronger in strength and who you are as a core when you're actually in your stillness. Because when things are moving around you, you often don't see things because they're too quick. But when you're sitting there present and poised and you're watch and you're still, you can see a lot more. The other side of that is the fear and the outside brain noise that goes on, is you're literally, everything grows louder with stress and overthinking. It grows louder with stress and overthinking. Oh, I love that, Rachel. Nice. I'm rooted in my values and self-respect. Bring that into a wording today. I'm rooted in my values and self-respect. And don't forget to put the old hand on the heart as well. It's one of my favorites ones as well. Thanks for commenting, Rachel. With your inner truth, you don't need to be justified to others. Oh, how many times do you say something and then you try and justify it? Yeah, and it comes out and you can hear it. You can hear that. And so it doesn't need to be justified for others. So it means there's no feel like it has to be explained or defended. You just speak freely. Does that feel more wholesome inside? Because I know it feels pretty damn wholesome for me. This is one of my favorite ones that I was thinking is you actually feel expanded, not contracted. You feel expanded, not contracted. Now, how does that feel, even that? I feel expanded, not contracted. And obviously the other is the fear is that you're tight, tense, and you're small and you're minimalistic and no one's going to listen to you. And then the whole mindset chatter comes in and it goes crazy, crazy, crazy. So thinking about that inner truth, would you rather have the inner truth or the outside noise? So all you got to do is say to yourself, today I feel peaceful, even if it feels uncomfortable. I feel peaceful, even if it's uncomfortable. I'm rooted in my values and self-respect. I'm rooted in my values and self-respect. These are just little tips, but they have such a significant difference in there. Oh, hi Romaldas. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Nice to have you here. And Shari, yes, Shari, I'll correct that again, Shari. Expansion, that's a heck yes. That's a heck yes for that. And the justifying, these are my ones. This is my one that I say certain things and I justify, and then I'm like, hang on a moment, let's pull myself back there. They don't need to be explained or defended. The other part with your inner truth, when we talk about our inner voice and our inner truth, your body will tell you. You will have a physical body that will tell you what you're leaning into or leaning away from. Your body will tell you what you're leaning into and what you're away from. Your mind will constantly tell you another story. Now, if you want to do this, the other thing is you jump in and you journal. You journal your thoughts. If you're going to stay true to yourself in this pressured society, you literally journal, get it all out of your head, everything that's going on. They're doing this, do the victim, do the whole victim, just get it all out. And then when you look back at it, you're going to go, yeah, I can see where my whoopsies are. I can see where my things are laying. It's time to do something about that. So the next thing I would like you to do is, when we think about this here, is to build your self-trust. You know what I'm going to say? I've got nothing actually literally here to show you. Is a glitter bomb. It is a glitter bomb. So if you're looking at your self-trust, do things that light you up. Now, I say glitter, do whether it's small or large, whatever it is, as long as it's fulfilling and to do you up. Any small thing, whether that is drinking from your glitter thing. I haven't got anything. Putting your glitter bracelet on that I didn't have time for. Any of those things that light you up and they make you feel fulfilled. This is part of your day that gets you through to self-trust with yourself, and that your choices align with you. Because this is where it's supposed to be. With this here, I'm also going to say how to check in with yourself before you say yes. Because, I talked a little bit about the no. How to check in with yourself before saying yes. Before you say yes to anything, you can do 3 things. Pause. Take a breath before answering. Don't just say yes immediately. Just pause. Ask yourself, do I want to do this? Can I do this? Have I got the capacity? Am I saying yes out of guilt, fear, or obligation? Is this really this? Ask yourself, because it's only you that knows. And there's a buffer phrase that I learned recently. I didn't know it was called a buffer phrase. I knew it was a phrase. I didn't know it was called a buffer phrase. And that's, let me get back to you on that. I need to check my schedule first. Or I'll think it over and I'll let you know. Let me get back to you on that. How about that? Let me get back to you on that. They're just little simple things about the saying yes, how to check in before you do. But make sure that those self-trusts and they're aligned with you and your glitter bomb that keeps you functioning in life. The next tip I'm going to give you is you are the boss of you. You are the boss of you. If you are going to stay true to yourself in a pressured society, because society has pressure everywhere you turn. You've got to stop at certain lights, traffic lights. You've got to stop at this. You've got to do this. Now, they're the laws. So are they a pressured society or what? Are they? But you've got to do certain things. So check in with yourself. So remember that you are the boss of you. If this is not, there's legal and illegal. There's some things. If you really don't like where you live, move. Do something about it. You are the boss of you. You're the one who makes all of the decisions that are happening around you, for you, against you. Let's go. Let's go. You are the boss of you. The next tip I'm going to give you is, here we go. It's something like this. And this is Debs's here. I don't know if it's there. And here's the other one. This is Deb's. Deb's is here. I've been doing this work personally. I've been a stressologist for 19 years. Stress and conflict resolver is how I started. I've been doing it for 19 years. I'm here to help you 100% of the way. If you're committed, lean in. Let me know in the chat. I'll book a time for a glitter call with me in the chat, and let's get moving, because seriously, if you've got the same problem and you're doing something and 24 hours later you're still doing it, or it's still filtering into your head, it's time to let it go. 24 hours is far too long. 48 hours is far too long. Put the time aside and clear it, or stay in your space. But I'm here to help you get through whatever is going on in your world. I'm here. And then the last tip I'm going to give you is, what do you think it is? What do you think this tip is? The tip's pretty simple. It's one of my favorite ones. Starts with G. It's called gratitude. Gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. So when you're grateful for the present moment, when you're grateful for the truly present moment and the awareness of others and yourself and what's going on, this allows you to keep grounded in your journey. It also allows you to let the stuff go that's there. You don't have to worry about the next step because it just flows. It's not forced. True gratitude is when you're grateful for what you have and grateful for what you don't have. So maybe you don't have something. I was trying to think of what I can say I don't have. Whatever that is, be grateful for what you don't have as well, because there's a reason for it. You don't have to find the reason, whatever that is. But when you're truly grateful in your heart, that's when the power comes. What you have, what you don't have, for those people not around you, for the actions you've done, for the things you've said. When you're truly grateful for those things, that's when the power arises within us. So that's my how to stay true to you in a pressured society. We'll just jump in here. Oh, look at that chat. Hi, Debbie. Hi. And Romados is saying hi to everyone. Thanks very much. And Van's joined today. Woohoo. I know where you are. Thank you very much for joining me. If you've got any questions today, about today, or you have a topic for the next Facebook Live I'm going to do next Friday, drop that in the chat or private message me. But today I'm signing off of how to stay true to you in a pressured society. Thanks very much, everybody. I trust you got some golden nuggets, and I'll see you next week. Thanks. Bye.